So, me and Garbro actually recorded this video before Christmas. However, I've been deathly ill. Like, really.
Also, surprise!
Yeah. So, if you guys don't know, a lot of people keep commenting, it's like, where's Megan at? So, Megan's been on the other channel for like a year and a half now, guys.
Where have you been?
But
at this point?
But you guys should know by this point that we are going to be having another baby in March. February-ish. We don't know. Look, Aussie was early. We kind of expect this one to be early too. Yeah. And Megan is not going to be doing YouTube anymore. No. She's only going to be doing not Gumroad. Now, this is the important thing. This is the important thing. So, on the 16th of December, November, December. Yeah. Gumroad just stopped processing payments. And then everyone started getting knocked off. And after like the first couple of days, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? It's gone up to Christmas. It's saying that there's no money in the accounts. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine. That's no problem.
But I mean, after like 2 weeks of it, I'm like...
zero?
But nah, that's something...
And then guys in the Discord were like, they wouldn't process my payment.
And it won't let me back on. I'm like trying to like get back on to it.
And it won't let me on. We were like, wait, hold up.
Hold up here. So I talk to Gumroad, and they're like, no, the comments are in your end, man. What are you on about? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, don't do this to me, guys. Well, you know what? 3 months before this baby's born, remember 3 months before Ozzy was born, we lost the old channel?
We lost the old channel, remember that?
Yeah. So, we have an alternative, which is actually so much better, which I should have done to begin with.
Yeah, should have done this, like, way at the start.
Yeah, we should have, but honestly, I didn't really know, and I didn't have the current website at the time. Yeah. So, you know what I mean, one of those ones. Yeah. Anyway, we're now on neckbeardia.co.uk. If you have been a member of the Gumroad, we have to stop calling it Gumroad, by the way, we have to call it Unhinged and Uncensored.
Yes, which is if you were a member of the Gumroad at one point,
you should have been in the Discord,
and that's why we kept pressuring you to be in the Discord. Or check your emails.
Check your emails. We do have a promo code which gives you the first month free, so it just makes it painless to move across.
Exactly. And if you haven't been a member before and you want to join because the content is spicy.
And also we've almost got like 100 videos on there.
Yeah, exactly. The content is spicy to say the least.
It's good. I've been enjoying it.
If there's a promo code for that where you get 50% off the first month.
So I think it's like £3.75.
Something like that for 100 odd videos, which are like average length is like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. The code is online50, all caps. If you use that at checkout, you get the first month 50% off.
Online50.
Yeah.
All caps.
And again, it's the same as Gumroad. With this, you go on, you can either watch them on the website or you can download the videos yourself. Either or. Honestly, it actually works far better for us. I'll throw up on screen all the ins and outs because, like, you know, it's a wee bit different how you can manage it. You can cancel it anytime, all that sort of stuff. Look, it's one of those ones. I feel like I just have to put this in at the start of the video. Yeah.
It's kind of the same as Gumroad. You can go on, watch the videos, cancel if you want, and then come back a couple of months later. But except it's not on Gumroad. It is on neckbeardia.co.uk.
So, yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, look, I know you guys have been waiting for this video. Garbo actually messaged me. I was like, James, did we not record a video, like, before Christmas? And I was like, yeah, I've been, like, really sick, man. Like, I've actually been...
Like, dying?
No, I
thought I was going to have to plan his funeral and everything here.
No, like, I was going, like, delirious Christmas Eve. Like,
he was, like, really hallucinating and shit?
No, it was really bad. I've never been so ill before in my life. Genuinely would not recommend it. And that, you know what? I'm not going to get into all this because this is just the intro. Like, let's get into the video. Sorry about all this.
But check out our videos on neckbeardia.co.uk and online 50 for half price.
For the first month. And then it's £7.50 a month after that. But trust me, you guys will enjoy that.
Bye.
Well, it's the start of the video. You can't say bye.
Well, bye to me.
Alright, bye to you. And again, for everyone that keeps commenting, it's like, where's Megan? I was like, Megan's on Neckbeardia.
He keeps me in the shed.
Megan gets locked in the shed.
I'm not allowed out often.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
he just gets me pregnant and leaves.
Right, back to the scheduled video that was supposed to be coming out like 3 weeks ago now. Jesus Christ. Hey guys, so I'm kind of jumping Garbo in this because he doesn't know what this question is that we have, and this isn't what the video is going to be about. But I really enjoyed that question video we did. What was it, like 3 weeks ago now? Was it? I actually really enjoyed that, and I came across this one this morning. I was like, you know what, I'm going to throw it in because part of me feels like it's a stupid question. Well, it's not a stupid question, it's actually a very good question. However, people that would struggle to answer this question, Look, you know what? I'm not even going to explain it. Let's just, I've got questions for people that cannot explain this.
If you can answer this.
If you can't answer this, I think it's a litmus test, if I be completely honest with you. And by the way, the guy doing this, he's an author. I've actually recently read 2 of his books. I really enjoy the guy. However, he is incredibly liberal, and I don't agree with some of the stuff. But he is a great writer, so I'll say what I'll give it. Let's give it what it is. All right.
He's a liberal, but a good writer.
You can say the same about you, Garbro. You know what I mean? It's like he's a fucking redneck, and I can't stand up. God damn that white people, fucking sweet. You know what I mean? Let's be serious. Have you got any more gardening from Reddit at all recently?
About what?
About your whole, they say, no, you're AI written or whatever because you keep pumping.
Yeah, so more or less, that other channel I'm working with, fucking, it all kind of died down. But, like, they're such sour grapes, dude. Like, he has one where I can't show you a screenshot. I don't share screenshots. But he goes around and he asks, hey, you're a writer, do you want to get paid to write? And one guy said, let me get this straight. You want me, this is off Reddit, mind you, a Reddit writer, right. who's like, not even a blip on the fucking radar, people. Let me get this straight. You want me, a 4-year writer on HFY with over 200 chapters posted in my series, to hand over creative freedom to you and your team to make what you want to narrate for $50 a week? It's like, bro, you're a fucking nobody. Like, yeah, we're going to pay you money to write a goddamn short story.
I mean,
Reddit is the worst place on fucking earth, I swear.
It's like, no, I would not like to get my foot in the door. Yes, I've spent 4 years creative writing, and it is something that I get extreme joy out of. But how about no? I don't know. Like, some people are just fucking full of themselves. Anyway, on to this question. It's a good litmus test, guys. Trust me.
This is the hardest question in the world, and I'm eager to see how some of you answer.
I'm going to speed it up, so I'm sorry. I'm going to speed it up just because. Can you understand this, Garbler?
Let's say you've been given a chance to start a new society from scratch, one that doesn't have any of the problems of current society. You've been given an idyllic piece of land. It's not surrounded by enemies. There's plenty of fresh water and farmland, and there are no corporations. There's no Wall Street. There are no governments. Everything you hate about society is gone. Here's your chance to start over. You can make sure you build a society in which everyone has what they need all the time. Here's the question. The big building you use to store food for the winter has gotten damaged in a storm, and you need 100 people to come help repair it. And you're on a deadline. This has to be done before the weather turns cold. Now, because you're trying to build a perfect utopia, of course everyone is free to pursue their dream, whatever work they feel they were called to do. So you ask for volunteers to help rebuild the structure. You need 100 people, and only 50 show up. The hardest question in the world is, how do you go about getting the other 50 workers that you need? Because when you start to go around and ask people, every single one of them in their own mind believes they have a good excuse for not doing it. This one has a newborn and says, well, of course I'm going to stay home with my baby. I'm not going to neglect my child for work. This one says, I disagree that the crowd should be kept in that building at all. I think everybody should have their own space in their own homes. I'm building my own. This guy says, it's not my dream to do construction. My dream is to become a podcaster. I'm at home working on my podcast. All of society, all of civilization has been entirely about how do you coerce these people into doing work they don't want to do. So honest question, in your perfect society where you make all of the rules, how would you do it? Specifically, how would you do it? Because throughout history, there's only been a few ways to do this. For example, you could point a weapon at them and force them to do it. But I assume none of you would choose that. Or you could pay them to do it, but the moment you do that, you introduce inequality.
Presumptuous.
Yeah. So, Garbro, how are you going to do it? And then I'll just give you mine afterwards, so I will, because I've been thinking about this. So I have.
Well, it's simple. First, you offer a carrot. Like, hey, we'll give you a bit of money, or we'll pay you to help make this fucking thing.
Oh no, but that would make people unequal, though. Would that not?
If some fucking retard goes, I'm on my podcast, I would literally drag him by his goddamn feet to go work on that fucking house. Oh, you have a podcast. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, grab this guy. Like I would not fucking care. Like I'm like, okay, this guy, that's a guy. They have a baby. That's fine.
Yeah.
You two, shut your fucking mouths. Go build that building before we starve to death. Like it's at some point when the carrot don't work, the stick's gonna get used liberally. I mean,
so my argument is this exact thing happens all the time in America. It's actually really common. Look at the Amish. That's all you got to do. Just look at the Amish. How do they do it? And the other thing, the biggest factor I would argue is, if you're living in this town, if you live in this quote-unquote utopia, do you not, in fact, love the other people around you to the point of you don't mind going out of your way to help someone? It's like, say if your friend asks you for a help, even just like, I need a lift to the airport. Can you give me a lift to the airport? Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm moving house. Could you just help us, load up your car or whatever? Do a few runs? Yeah, sure. Would it be shocking to believe that people do things for other people that they care about? And because these people do not want to do things for other people that they obviously don't care about them if they're not willing to stop people from starving to death in fucking winter. That is clearly not a utopia then.
Yeah. Like, if on a utopia and one building goes down and it's all gonna go down in flames, and not really utopia. Plus, you can't have areas in everyone's house because then you can't control how much grain's going somewhere. You need a whole person or a whole team of people to go to each and every house and check. And then you run into this issue of, well, I don't want you know.
Then you turn into the Soviet Union.
I guarantee you go, okay, but we got to make sure you're not just eating all your grain. And people go, well, you can't come to my house. They're going to block your inspectors from going in. Have it in one central location with one central couple of people who maintain, okay, here's your daily grain, that we don't fucking starve through winter. This is one of those things where it wouldn't be an issue. Like, if it's an action, like I said, podcast. These are modern people, and modern people cannot fathom non-modern solutions or not thinking about themselves the entire time. Oh, well, I got a podcast. Sir, the entire village is going to starve during winter because you can't store grain, you fuck. Put your goddamn podcast down.
I feel like this is getting like a group of unironic the city dweller types. You know what I mean? Like, genuinely, it's like very
city folk.
But it is, and I feel like, don't get me wrong, I feel like these sort of societies can work, but I think they break apart once you hit over like 100 people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to have interpersonal relationships with everyone in this town, and you need to actually, like, whenever you help someone out, they're going to help you out. Do you know what I mean? And, like, you know, let's be serious. If someone comes to you for help with something, like, you know, like for instance, you Garpio, you know, like, your fucking fence, you're forever building that fence. You're more than content doing that fence. But say if you asked one of your friends to help you, would you not then, whenever they needed their fence sorted out, would you not be more than willing to do the same?
Oh, that's societal quid pro quo, where you help me, I help you.
Yeah.
And more or less, people will bank. They'll bank these acts of kindness where, like, well, I helped you, now you help me. And the thing is, if someone goes out and helps you, or you help someone else, and then they don't reciprocate, then that builds tension. That's why, like, I don't know, raids on villages happen.
I mean,
you know, like
I like, just put it out there, unless they like genuinely, like, oh, this person has a baby, it's like, well, you've got a newborn, yeah, sure, you go, like,
yeah, that's a lot of work. Breastfeed and all that stuff.
That's a genuine fucking excuse, you know.
Well,
what I mean?
I think we should all shut your fucking mouth, Greg, and build a goddamn building.
Yeah, just fucking get to work, alright? I'm sorry.
Well, I think we all deserve our own little granaries.
I'm sorry, everyone, like, you know, look, I feel like it falls back on the question of, I love that, what do you call, JFK, that JFK quote, do not ask what my country can do for me, ask what I can do for my country. Do you know? And I feel like that,
well, you're asking for selflessness from the most selfish generations known to fucking man.
Yeah,
like by my God, I go out and buy a guy's burrito. He acts like I fucking like fucked his mother, and like is. And he like is the strangest, like either like, hey man, don't worry, I'll get it. Like, it's like, sometimes I'm in a rush and you're in my fucking way. I want to buy your goddamn food so you can get the fuck out of my way while you're trying to dig for your goddamn change. So I'll buy your $4 Taco Bell burrito. It goes two ways. Either they're insulted, like, oh, you think I can afford it? No, you're in my way, and I get mean. Or they get like, oh man, you have to do. They get all fucking like goopy on me.
Just hurry up, mate, please. That's all I want, please. Just hurry up. But look, I thought this was a great question. I thought it was a great litmus test, to be honest with you. And honestly, I think it works for a bit of world building, because I think you could definitely see. I love the idea of building a campaign around the peasant revolts. If you're ever interested in like peasant revolts, definitely read about them. I think they're really, really interesting. I'd love to see what type of, because think of it like a communist state in the 1600s. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, that just doesn't compute. You know, it just doesn't add up.
To be fair to the people currently scrambling to their goddamn keyboards, communism, or being part of a commune, was a big thing back in the village days, because they're all working together to not die.
Yeah.
You know,
and mutual interests and people. And,
yes, mutual interests. Like, hey, you know, you just got here. Your house is fucked. We're all gonna take a day off our usual jobs from harvesting or creating. We'll help you get your roof redone. You know.
Yeah.
But that's a simply neighborly community favors. Like I don't call it communism, but it's a community coming together to help out someone in their village. That's completely different than communism, which is like everything belongs to everybody. No one own anything. Now it's like, hey, your house, buddy, your roof's all fucked up. We're gonna help you out real quick, And then if you don't help out someone else with their roof or their loose cows or whatever, you're gonna get your house burned down or something like that, and run you out.
Either that, or just no one else is gonna help you. It's like they didn't.
Yeah. Oh, you need help? Well, ain't that a bitch, Jerry?
Like people need help in this life, though. I think that's the biggest downfall of the Western world is the lack of community and the lack of just like support networks around people. Like people are so fucking lonely now, and to me, like this is portrayed as the hardest question in the world. It's really not, because again, as I say, the Amish do this to this day, and there's plenty of other places around the world where they live in small isolated communities, like think like Siberia, for instance, places that it's like permafrost all year round type shit. People really need each other, in harsh environments and harsh places to live. So I don't know, maybe we're just soft and decadent to the idea of this question. Will we finish off the video?
It's not soft and decadent. It's simply it's Occam's razor.
Yeah.
Honestly, like people want to say like if you care about others you're gay or some bullshit, but it's actually quite normal to care about others that have earned that care. The one thing is that either people assume or think they're entitled to your care, or they don't want to go and earn your care. So you have people constantly docking on each other and biting each other and all that other gay shit, and no one's building that reputation with each other. No one's building that rapport with each other to where they can rely on someone else. Because for the most part, a lot of people have been turned upon and betrayed like 10 times by the time they're fucking 15 years old.
Yeah, and I don't blame people for being like that, honestly.
Yeah, like there are kids coming out of high school more jaded than me.
Yeah. You have no idea how thankful I am that I finished secondary school before social media was on mobile phones. Honest to God, that was. It's like getting the last chopper out of Vietnam. Do you know what I mean? I feel like
it kind of is, yeah.
Fuck, I don't. And same, I got me and Megan started going out before.
Get me fucking out of here.
Before Tinder, we started going out maybe like 6 months before Tinder came into being. Do you know? And it's like, oh my God, oh my God, I escaped to the skin of my fucking teeth. Do you want to finish this off, or do you want to move right into the actual thread?
You want to go and play it? Not too, it's doing pretty fast now.
All right.
Hey, if you agree to come help build the storehouse, you will be able to have a nicer home than the person who didn't agree to do that. The other way is to build hard and necessary work into the culture.
Carrot.
But that's just another way of saying that social pressure from the neighbors would make you do it. That if you don't show up to work, then everyone will be mean to you and they will exclude you from their social circles. In other words, you're using extreme fear and anxiety to motivate people to come do the work. What I found is when you ask people this question, a lot of them will try to dodge it entirely. They would say, well, in my perfect community, people would want to help. But that's like if I asked you to design an airplane and you said, well, mine can be any shape I want it to be, because this would be for a world where gravity doesn't exist. It is a fundamental mathematical law of the universe that the work that needs done to keep a community running.
Also, I want to put out another thing. You need to remember in a lot of these sort of especially Middle Ages, all that sort of stuff, people that live in these small villages are all somewhat related to each other. So they are genuinely family members. Do you know what I mean? Albeit distant family members, but I'm pretty sure. And there's even some places that I know, not far away from me, where it's like, how the fuck are you all related in some way, shape, or form? Do you know what I mean? It's just the way it is.
And the work that people enjoy doing or find satisfaction doing is not the same work. It would be an incredible coincidence if it was. Having a society that survives factually requires people to do a lot of work they would rather not do. So I would love an answer without deflecting or dodging or implying that I'm asking some different question. How would you, in your hypothetical village, get that work done?
There you go. What do you think?
I mean, technically, if you're not a piece of shit society, you'll just do it.
Yeah.
Because in that small society, you will be thinking about yourself. You think about the community that you're involved in, people who you go drink with, people who you help feed, who help you work, who help you make things, gather things. People to where you go, hey, I got to travel to this next town over. Can you please watch my house? And the entire community will watch your fucking house.
Again, he's making this, I think he's like, no, but you're just saying, no, people will want to do it. It's like, yes, because, again, they live in this utopian society. It's not like...
It's a utopia.
Let's say it's not even a utopia. Again, do the Amish live in a utopia? No, by any means they do not. I think it comes down to size. I think you could definitely make this work with 100 people tops. I think any more than that, same as
no. It could work with it could work with a Dallas-sized population. Problem is, it requires people to not be so fucking self-centered. That's where the issue comes in to people glorifying and putting themselves above others, which is natural. Sure, it's absolutely natural to go, I am more important than this fucking hobo. However, it takes someone going, but this guy needs help now. I'll take an hour of my day to help, build this fucking, hut for the fucker to live in. And people are like, well, I don't have time. People will say, I don't have time to do this. And they'll go home and fucking couch rot for 6 hours and watch TikTok,
Yeah.
I remember going through and talking to people, because I do fucking community stuff offline, like go and talking to these fucking kids. Like, okay, what do you do? Okay, because I wake up at 8 a.m. to go to school, or 7 a.m. what kind of school they're at. Okay, you do that. Because I go to school to about 2, 3, or 4, depending what school they're going to. All right, that's fine. Then I go home and I play video games. Cool, for how long? Until I go to sleep. Mother.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You know what? Like, see when it comes to like video games and stuff, don't get me wrong, I think they are completely fine, but I do feel like they are at a point where they just replace any form of
social interaction, hobbies, fucking growth.
The removal of split screen has been a disaster for video games, I think. Like, genuinely, see what are your
Remove split screen, the West has fallen.
But I think it's a direct correlation between the two. Like, split screen, like, how many games can you get that are split screen these days? Me and Ozzy are playing Goat Simulator 3 at the minute, and you can get split screen on that, and he loves it. Honestly, it's great fun, so it is. But, like, again, it's not a serious game by any. It's fucking Goat Simulator, you know what I mean? Like, when we got college...
It's not Halo or GoldenEye or something of that nature.
Yeah. Not to say that you could, like, if you really wanted to play GoldenEye, you could, but, like, again, it's fucking hard, man.
Well, it's not you and your friends, on a weekend all together drinking root beer and fucking just going absolute ham on a video game.
Right. Well, anyway, look, I wanted to do that. I thought it would be an interesting question. I thought it was pretty good, honestly, but at the same time, I just feel like... and again, like, I'll go to that. Who was it that said it? I can't remember. There was someone who said it. When it comes to your family, like your immediate family, you're like a communist. And then whenever it's like your friends, you're like a socialist, And then, the more outward you get, because again, like, do you say if one of your friends is in like a hard place, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll just leave you a few quid. You know what I mean? Like, no issue. And a lot of times, like, well, if you can send us the money back, that's all right. Like, but like, don't be like, as long as you're not living the decade of it, that's sweet. Like, as long as you're not coming to me like every week, can I get 30 quid? Can I get 30 quid? As long as it's not like all day, every day. You know what I mean?
That's an abuse of resources right there. And people do that. Like, hey man, can I get 100? Like, I gave you $400 this month. Fuck off. That's when you realize you're not a friend, you're a piggy bank.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like that out in this world, sadly. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought it would be interesting to throw in. Anyway, D&D hot takes. What's your D&D hot take? I don't think I have any. Honestly,
what's your D&D hot take? It's gotten gay as shit. That's about it.
It's just shit, man.
Everything is gay. Everything is liberal.
Everything's in a wheelchair. The artwork looks like trash.
Everything is crippled.
They're making even the system worse by the month.
Honestly, yeah.
Honestly, look.
They said PV combat is not for players. Like, the fuck it ain't. Like, if players want to duke it out, you let them duke it out. Don't be a little bitch.
My only hot take when it comes to like role playing games as a whole, I feel like there's a direct correlation with how much fun your party can have and your DM's abilities as a DM. I think they go pretty much hand in hand. If you got a shit DM, you're probably just gonna have a shit game. Doesn't matter how good the players are. But I think even if you have an amazing DM and if you have subpar players, you can still pull through and make something actually like worthwhile. That'd be about it. I can't really. I don't think I have anything else worth saying. Okay, what do you want to do? Is there anything decent here? Free is the best edition. What? Okay. Go with that one, Garbro.
Okay, which one? The 4E?
Yeah, 4E is the best edition.
4E is the best edition of WOTC D&D. Third, 3.5 is super broken and only works when heavily house ruled. And 5E is just diet. 3.5 with some 4E spice that really lacks satisfying balance or gameplay. 4E is a fully functional and mostly balanced game that can be played with minimal adjustments outside of some number tweaks. It is a pretty great game for tactical combat compared to 3.5 or 5E. And if you really just want a simple system to roll dice or anything from the TSR era will be better than 3.5 or 5E, as well as, I don't know about TSR or 3.5, honestly. as well as which means they don't really step on each other's toes and basically exist in different niches. Hot take because half of TG is obsessed with this guy's a fucking fucking OSR lover, dude. Like, back in the day, you couldn't get better. 3.5, honestly, it was peak D&D, peak D&D. Like, how old are you?
Look, some guys are just like that.
Whose granddad's posting on 4chan, man?
Honestly, I don't mind 4th. You know what? I don't even think 5e was all that bad at some points. I feel like, it just hit a boiling point for me personally. It really did.
It just got too, like, it's basically too infected by all this fucking new mind around our TTRPGs.
Yeah.
It's just not good. And a lot of things are not really inspired. They're not really, you have to work for anything. Like my game, you have to go and learn take time, go learn your spell. Here's like, yeah, so you leveled up, here's your spells. You just know them. Fuck you.
Yeah, right. Great. Here. Do you want to go with this one? I agree with this one, if I be honest with you. Monks being made a standard part of the class lineup.
Monks being made a standard part of the class lineup was a mistake. The Oriental set of classes should have stayed in their lane. An unarmed class with a generic name like Pugilist should have been the default and would have created a much more consistent character class, unlike the Monk with its 600 unconnected abilities that is vaguely Shaolin mysticism. The other hot take is that monks should be whiz-based caster class like clerics, but they use ki for spells instead. They were already a cleric derivative anyway, so there is I don't get why, because monks are a religious person, not really not a brawler or a pugilist or a boxer. They're just like, me make temple pretty, me answer questions. That's what a monk is.
Yeah, I definitely would have just made the monk a cleric subclass for 5e and just made it the martial arts sort of class. You know what I mean? Because clerics aren't that bad in combat. You know what I mean?
What they have as the monk doing is the monk's a hand-to-hand fighter using key points to do these not spells. But it's then why not have an actual better term than just monk? Because monk is, they're Christian monks. The monk is not a mostly Shaolin or Oriental term. A monk is a duty. A monk is a title. He's a monk. He's a religious guy.
Yeah.
So they could have come with a better name. Why call it like a key master or some shit? I don't know.
Because that would have been racist or something. I don't know, Garbly. You just can't be doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, I can't be asking too much of WTC and their fucking millions of dollars and their teams of people. What was I thinking?
Genuine question for anyone watching. I want to know, why did the term Orient become offensive to
fucking Asian? Oriental, eh?
No, but genuine.
Fucking egg rolls in it.
I remember the first time I ever heard the word Oriental was, I think I was in primary school, and they had an old textbook, and they had this woman with one of those one of those hats that you see them out in fucking rice fields and shit, and it said
a rice hat.
Yeah, it said Orient on it, and the woman said, well, not the woman, sorry, my teacher. I remember her saying, "Oh no, we don't really say that anymore. It's
the Orient."
Yeah, you call them Asian now, so you do. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, no, because you say Asian, okay, cool. Which fucking one?
The yellow ones, not the brown ones.
The good ones.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. Anyway,
you see, the post. I saw a post on was it TikTok or Twitter? But so I bought this room. I'm trying to get the curry smell out of the walls, and they're bleaching the walls. Yeah,
yeah.
It smells like fucking butter chicken everywhere.
Do you want? You know what? I think I've told this story before. So my mum's a landlord, right, and she owns a couple of houses, and the house that we used to be in, I used to rent off my mum. All right, and then whenever my mum got
white privilege,
sick, yeah. Well, no, you know the thing is, my mum's worked minimum wage her whole life, so she has, but she's managed to get a whole hand on 3 houses. Well, technically 4, nice. I suppose, if the one she lives on. But anyway. No, she's just tight-fisted as fuck. Genuinely. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is, so we move out, and it's an Indian family that move in, and I'm not taking the piss. My mum rings me up. Actually, it wasn't my mum, it was my stepdad about 6 months later, and they say, "Is there anything up with your boy Stuart? You remember your old next door neighbour Stuart? What was he like?" I was like, "Yeah, no, he was a pretty good next door neighbour. I had no issue with him. He's pretty easy, if I'll be honest with you, got on with him, I thought, pretty well, as far as things go. If I ran into him, we would sit and talk for a few minutes, but that's about it." He says, "Yeah, he went round to the house yesterday and was like screaming and shouting at the new tenants. So he was. Well, they weren't new. They've been there for like about 6 months at this point. Well, that's a bit out of character. I couldn't. What was it about? Do you know like what was going on or anything? She's like, no, not really, bar. Like he called around the door about 9:30 at night and was screaming and shouting at them at the front door, and then. Like, you know, the kids and all were crying and stuff. Like, it really upset them. So I was like, all right, okay. So I shot Stuart a wee message, and I don't have them at the minute because it was on my old phone, the messages. But I messaged him. I was like, you know what? It's like everything all good. You missed me yet? Are you having fun with the next door neighbours? And he says, oh fuck me, James, mate. It's bad. It's bad. I'm like, why? What is it? It's like, mate, you know, the thing is, this guy's a chef, and I would have called him like, he reminds me of like, you know, one of those like. Old, like think like a 1970s, 80s style like metalhead type. He's a bit of a hippie dippy type.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so that's what kind of turned me about it. I was like, no, Stuart, like Stuart wouldn't, he wouldn't strike me as someone who would like, you know, go out of his way to be nasty to
Stuart wouldn't scream slurs in the street.
Yeah, like, you know, that sounds really out of character. And he says, no man, like, you know, not to be racist or anything, but like, I'm not even joking. My back, but it smells like Eastern tandoori here. Mate, the cooking is wild. Like, it is wild. Like, all I'm getting is fucking onion and shit permeating through my walls. It's insane. And like, they're constantly blasting this music. And I was like, why, what do you mean? What type of music? And he's like, it's like this like Indian Bollywood sort of music.
The British Empire brought it upon themselves.
I know. And he says, no, man, it's been constant. Like, it just feels like
blasting Bollywood and cooking onions. My life is hell.
Yeah, he says it's just onions and garlic. That's all he can smell. He says it stinks of Eastern tandoori and all this. And to be fair, the stories my mom's told me about these ones are a bit like, yeah, these people do not know how to like. I feel like there's something actually like mentally wrong with them to a certain extent. So, for instance, one of it. First one was so the cooker broke. So Hugh, my stepdad, lent them a gas stove, right? You know, like a gas stove, and it's like, you know, connected to like a tank, and like, you know, it's just like a hob, and you light it up. You know what I mean? Like, there's got fire flame on it. Guess what they did with it? They were cooking on, wait for it, the PVC plastic windowsill. They melted the fucking window.
You just get tired sometimes. And
then do you want to hear the next one? Now he says the smell is wild, and I'm pretty positive I know exactly why the smell is wild. Apparently now, after like a week and a half of them living there, they were saying, oh, there's some problems with like pipes or whatever. And like, all right, okay. So my stepdad went down, and they said the pipes were chock-a-block full. Like, it was as if they were thinking like the taps, like they thought it was like a waste disposal. We don't, like, waste disposals don't exist here. You know, I think they're actually banned. We're actually not allowed to have them, if I'll be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's supposed to do about wastage or something. And also, you're not supposed to put food in. It's not supposed to go in with water.
That's why you put a blender in your sink and you chop it all up like we do.
Yeah, but we're just, like, for whatever reason, we're not supposed to have that. Anyway, they thought it was a waste disposal, and it was like weeks of rotten food being shoved down the sink. Lovely. You can imagine the smell.
Based.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. And you know the worst thing is...
Hold on. Go ahead, my cat's me.
Oh. So do you want to hear the worst bit about all of this?
Oh, I can't wait.
That there's my house, so it is. Like, that's my house in the will.
Oh. Is this gonna be your problem here soon?
Yeah. Well,
nice.
That's it. Like, my mom's in her like early 60s, so like, you know, I'd say she's probably got at least another like 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Look at that, another white land owner.
So yeah, lovely. Nothing to do with D&D hot takes, more to do with why you don't rent. You know what? I said to her, like, you know, I was like, well, why you renting to these people? She's like, oh, because they need somewhere to stay, and like, you know, they're. It's like, wait, I don't know, like, all right.
I see James with like a whites only on his fucking applications for sorry, Bricky, white only Irish.
Anyway, what y'all? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go with this one? Will we go with this one?
Let's
nice
see.
Big one.
Big old brick here. D&D as a whole has always been good ideas executed poorly.
Yeah,
like they're like. Have you seen like their scroll making rules? It's just like time money. That's all there is. It's basically like, here's your dry toast. Enjoy, fuckboy. And it's always largely relied on its buyers to fix its problems to suit their groups. True. With a handful of people here and there to swear by its raw gospel. Broisar. It has always been a mashup of concepts that don't fit together and haven't had the effort put in to make them fit together, where it's the OG D&D, where people wanted cowboys, Conan, Han Solo fighting monsters and aliens, or it's Californian codependent college campus cafes with Technicolor tieflings. The book of which I have, called Strixhaven, which has been a read, my guy.
Why did you get your hands on that? Why?
It was for sale at like a secondhand bookstore, and like you can tell the thing's barely. Someone went, "Oh, this is awful," and immediately sold it to like a used bookstore. But like it is unbelievably just a mishmash of bullshit with no narrative direction. There's no, like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking making this book, dude. Like,
they made Wizard Skull unironically worse. Like,
somehow they made Hogwarts both really annoying and boring at the same time.
You know what? I will give a shell to Lamentations. Hold on, let me get this up. Lamentation of the Flame Princess.
Like, I would honestly kill for just fucking cohesion of character design and races. Like, you got guys with tusks for some reason. You got, like, extremely beautified Minotaur people. You got fucking, like, I understand that there's like fucking 30 plus races now, or 42 or 50, who fucking knows.
I think,
but there's so little cohesion.
Why do they not just make rules to, like, I'm sure they probably do at this point. Do they not have rules that you can just make your own race at this point? Because let's be serious, they just want that. That
point, why buy the goddamn D&D book? Like, just buy a fucking rule set and make up your own shit at that point. Yeah. Like, at that point, why bother having a goddamn book if it's all... yes, the black chick in a wheelchair. There she is.
Gargoyle, you don't get it because my favourite Let's Play podcast plays 5e, and I just want to be just like them, because, of course I do, because that's how I play D&D.
People say that. People say that's one sucks out of shotgun every fucking time, dude.
Yeah. Either way, like, you know what? If you want to run a Wizard and Skull, check out the Yellow Book of Belchward.
Blackworld.
It's more of Arthurian influence. It's actually pretty good, though, genuinely. I've read over the book a couple of times, and it is something that I really do like the book. However, I suffer from, I just do not want to run a Wizard and Skull campaign. Like, it's just not something that is in my list of, I would love to love a Wizard and Skull. I just have no interest in it as a premise at all. I don't know why. I just don't like it, and I don't think I'm ever going to change from that ever. Just putting that out there. Do you want to keep going with this post, or?
Yeah. So basically, he's talking about Strixhaven, multicolored tieflings, people in wheelchairs, fucking
all that.
Golden hair, golden eye, black people. You know, it's all the usual things. Like, there's literally a fucking, like, a reverse albino in that goddamn book. Pisses me off when I see him. So it's almost always been ingenious with its marketing, claiming and getting this player base to claim that it can do whatever you want. It's kind of like how a video essay will establish a vague point, only qualifying it with loose terms to make the viewer fill in the blanks with their own assumptions, leaving the common viewer to believe the essayist is a genius, and often resulting in them donating via Patreon or Super Chats or whatever, when the actual content of the point was bereft at best. People are ascribing their own legwork to a corporation, a product, or a person of perceived intellectual authority and giving them credit for it, which really does. It's depressing. Like, people will go in and they'll just redo an entire, like, race, and they'll fix it. Okay, made by Dungeons & Dragons with WTC. Like, dude, don't. Like, when players are fixing your shit and making it better, like, at least give them the goddamn credit.
Did you see
like,
that
Jesus
whole thing
Christ.
About people were bitching and moaning about homebrew content, like homebrew rules and stuff? Like,
how do you mean?
So there was a big thing going on Twitter the other day. It wasn't the other day. It feels like this happens like every other couple of weeks or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like homebrew goals are completely fine, but I do feel like a lot of people that integrate homebrew goals have never even read the actual rule book to begin with, and therefore, if they actually maybe read the rule book, maybe they would sort out a lot of those issues that they have. Now, don't get me wrong. Homebrew goals are great, and I feel like they definitely happen over time. You know, I definitely feel like...
Or with experience. If you know what you're doing, you can homebrew real quite quickly.
I feel like... you see more and more people, I feel like, that are jumping into role-playing games and straight out of the bag, they're like, I'm doing this before, like, ever even attempting to just...
And then they shit the bed so hard.
Yeah.
fucking ruining that shit.
You know what? I think that's my biggest take. It really comes down to role-playing games are completely skill-based, and it's completely skill issue. Genuinely.
Oh, we've said this before all the time. We said before that running an RPG game is completely skill based. If you're an absolute fucking mongoloid, you're not going to do it right.
And I've said this before. There's plenty of things that I know myself that I cannot DM because I am not good enough to be able to do that. Biggest example would be running any form of horror stuff. Like I just don't have. I'm not serious enough. I run shitposts. Right? I
play Fecal Lands.
Yeah, I play Fecal Lands. All my games turn into fucking memes, okay, guys? I am not a serious player. I'm not a serious DM. But I like to think that, like, you know, I have fun whenever I play. And I feel like that's the main point, and that's the goal.
Remember, the first rule to gun safety is to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is the other thing. I feel like, you know, whenever we read, like, half the horror stories about this sort of stuff, I'm like, well, that sounds a bit like me, not gonna lie. I could see myself doing something like that, you know?
You guys were having fun doing this? Wow.
Well, I'm having fun. You know, it's like, I think that guys and horror stories and all that stuff is in the eye of the beholder, you know? Some things are, like, don't get me wrong, are my games mostly tween legs? Yeah. But I think the guys enjoyed themselves while they were.
But they're smiling the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's like a roller coaster. You know, sometimes sometimes things are going great, and there's and then you know, look, you keep them on their seat.
Sometimes you're smiling, sometimes you're screaming, but in the end, boy, didn't you have fun?
Sometimes you might just shit yourself or throw up, or you might just die. You know, there's a chance of that as well. You know. Anyway, look, do you want to will we finish this post, or what do you want to do?
Well, more or less, we get the gist of what he's saying here. Yeah. You know, it's just the rise of streamed games certainly helped D&D's image as a product. Advertisers have. Sorry. Advertisers have always known from the start of advertising and marketing that showing people enjoying your product is a good way to get them to buy it. Even if it's just enjoyment is falsified or doesn't reflect the use of the actual product, like Matt Mercer, it was because in the beginning it was very, very raw and real and true. Then it got corporatized, and that's it's just performative.
Yeah,
it's super. Yeah, like one of those things where D&D turned into a product, and it's now it's a performative product.
Yeah, I buy into the idea of it's a lifestyle. I think people enjoy the idea of role-playing games. You know, Ozzy's going through a bit of a weird phase at the minute. So last wee while, he talks to me about pizza, and I don't really eat that much. Me and Megan don't really eat pizza all that much. I'm just not into it. If I be honest with you, as a food. So like we don't.
Dude, I am all about fucking pizza.
So we just don't have it in the house. But he was talking about pizza not that long ago. I was like, well, you know what? Will we get wee pizza? Do you want to have pizza for dinner? He's like, yeah, okay. So go ahead, get him pizza. Wasn't really into it. It's like he likes the idea, he likes the concept. Same with hot dogs and stuff. Like, you know, he likes the idea of a pizza, but he doesn't actually care that much for a pizza at the same time, you know? And I can already hear people screaming at me in the comments like, James doesn't like pizza. It's like, it's alright. It's just, I prefer more meat, if I be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, the meat to bread ratio just ain't cutting it for me personally, you know? It's not that bad. It's just not something that I would be like, oh, we're gonna
see, I love getting a nice thick cheese, right? But then you go in, you get a side of marinara. Oh, dude. Just dunk it. Just dunk that bad boy.
Works. Like, I don't know. When it like, no, I'm gonna get sidetracked. Back to the thread, guys. Back to the thread. I can't do this. Can you guys read the thread instead of talking about fucking your son?
Just read the fucking thread about cheese pizza and fucking Indians. Goddamn it.
The worst thing to happen to D&D isn't its design flaws, but the people on the internet who keep referencing its design flaws, so it reinforces them in a. Oh, that's a good point. Actually, maybe, like, you know, are things blown out of proportion on the internet? Example.
Imagine that, the internet blowing things out of proportion. Who could have seen this coming?
Like, you know what?
Say it's not so.
Okay, you know what? Let's go for a big one. Let's go for one that I think most people that are watching this, I think, are in like my age group. Like, you know, I think most people that watch this channel are between the ages.
Boomer.
Well, everyone, I think, from the ages of say 40 to about 25, but late 20s. I would lean more on later 20s up to like maybe 30, mid to late 30s. Yeah, is that fair enough?
Yeah.
And I think everyone was alive. Everyone was around at the time when Creed was big. Yeah, Creed was very.
and Creed was bussing.
Creed was bussing back in the day, and you know what? They went through a bit of they fell off, and did they turn cringe? Yeah, they kind of did. But you know what? The internet's decided. Creed's cool again, you know? So maybe...
It was buzzing, for real.
Yeah. But do you see what I'm trying to say, though? Like, you know, public opinion has shifted somewhat. Like, another good example... Well, you know what? It isn't a good example because, let's be serious. You know what, actually? I'll give you my unpopular one. My unpopular one is I hated Limp Bizkit whenever they first came out.
Oh.
Because my brother fucking listened to Limp Bizkit and he's a gigafag, and he just, like, unironically got on, like, Fred Durst. I'm not even joking. Like, it was actually embarrassing. See, looking back, I was cringing, and I was, like, 4 years younger than him, and even I thought he was getting on like an absolute homo. You know what I mean? But, like, see now, like, I'm not even joking. See, whenever I keep, we're gonna go, and comes up on the... I mean, you know what? This ain't bad. this ain't bad. You know?
Like a fine wine, says Age. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe in 20, 30 years, I'll look back on 5e and be like, I was wrong about you. Maybe, who knows? But I do.
I was fucking go, you piece of shit, piece of fucking filth, and it's like fucking like I will walk by Dini like a goddamn hobo on the side of the road, dude. I swear to God.
I do not like what Wizards has done. I don't like where they've moved marketing. I don't like the type of people that they're targeting. Everything that goes with it, all that jazz. Look, let's finish off this guy's post though. What would your one be though, Garbo? Do you think there's anything that's been cruelly mocked on the internet that really doesn't deserve the hatred?
That hasn't deserved it?
Yeah, that you think, like, you know what, maybe that's a wee bit blown out of proportion, you know? Like, okay, they deserve a bit of hate, but, like, the way people, like Nickelback, like, that turned into, like, an internet meme where people hated Nickelback, or, like, do you remember that horrible time? I fucking hate this time. Do you remember back whenever people were like, oh, bacon,
like the food?
Yeah, do you remember when bacon became, like, a giant meme, and it was like, oh my god, bacon, it's, like, the best food ever.
Chocolate wrapped bacon candy.
Oh, yes. What do you call that? Epic mealtime. Yes. Think back to that time period. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really keep track of that shit. Honestly, I don't really. I kind of go, well, that's stupid. I kind of scroll on by, you know, like
that's
people
a lie,
are.
Bro, that's a lie. I see.
Well, like
complain about wheelchairs. I see.
Well,
how much you
yeah, okay, yeah. Wheelchairs, like anything that actually matters. It's actually important, not really. Wheelchairs, I think they're dumb, and I assume I go, well, you're a fucking retard. I go in there and go, you are dumb, and they go, you come fucking flocking towards me.
Just so you guys know, Garbo isn't talking about RPGs at all. He's actually just talking about the cripples. He's not talking about like D&D wheelchairs. He's talking about just genuine, like special. Yeah, he's just talking about the Special Olympics and shit, man.
I park in the handicap spots on purpose. I love when I go get my fucking tags done and go, you want your placard? I'm like, hell yeah, I want fucking placards.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I will cut off vans that are wheelchair accessible on purpose. I don't give a fuck. Right, but no, okay. I'll see a fat a fat fuck trying to get a parking spot, and I'll race to beat into the handicap spots, like make your ass walk.
Oh, Bob.
I remember I got so bad out of shape. I can't believe you took that from me. Like, oh yeah, what? Your knees hurt? You fat fuck, get away from me. And like this fuck, and he tried to like fight me, but like I was just walking backwards really fast. And he couldn't keep up with me. Oh, it's a fucking Costco parking lot.
You know what? Right. I was meaning to talk about this the other day because it kind of came up, but I didn't get around to it. The amount of times it feels like normally it's Megan that almost ends up in fistfights she's really bad for it, so she is. But it almost happened to me about a week and a half ago. So I was picking Ozzy up from school, right? And his school's beside a church, and his actual school doesn't really have a car park, so you park in the church, and all the parents do it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I went up, picked him up, and I was bringing him down, and this is a little boy talking to someone, and like they're like against us. Like, you know what, Garb? I'm going to show you on Google Maps. All right?
They're against us.
Google Maps. Let me get up Google Maps, and I'll show you Street View exactly. I'm going to give you the exact fucking rundown of this, and you guys are just going to have to like sit and listen to what it was like.
I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking.
Hold on. Let me get up to the school here 1 second. Right, here we go. Right, Garbu. So I'm parked literally where that black car is, yeah? That's where I parked. And there was another car beside me. And see where that silver car is? There was this old boy. And I was walking down Wellesley, so we went online, down there. And I put him into the car, so I did strap him in. And I kind of noticed this fella was staring at me a wee bit. Like, I kind of noticed whenever I walked down. And it was one of those ones where he was giving me, like, proper dirty look. And it was one of those ones where I turned around, I put Ozzy into the car, and I turned around and just stopped and stared back at him. And, like, you know, we're only about, like, 10 feet away, if even here. And it was one of those ones, I had it in my mouth. I was about, and this guy's in his, like, 70s, like, the fuck you looking at? You know what I mean? You know what? I was one of those ones, I only thought about it, like, half an hour later. I was like,
what are you looking at, old man?
No, I could have turned around and said to him, could you please stop looking at my child? That would have
Jesus Christ.
Mate, that would have been a fucking banger, mate. Tell me that would have been a banger.
Immediate backpedaling.
No, but like, I'm not even joking.
Sir, please stop staring at my child.
Mate, I wish.
Dude, that is like verbal flak chaff.
Mate, tell me that's not a banger. I'm doing that next time. Next time something like that happens to me, I'm fucking doing it.
That's a raptor seeing a missile coming in and going flak chaff.
So anyway,
sir, please stop staring at my child.
No, but the guy's turned around staring at us. So I turned around, I closed the door, I turned around and just kind of looked at him, like, what the fuck are you looking at? And then he like kind of just like breaks eye contact and goes like, bleh. But I don't know what the fuck he was looking at though. And he was proper like, and this guy's in his like 70s, and he's turned around and like actually like kind of giving me the dirties. You know what I mean? I'm like,
imagine that, a boomer giving people mean looks over fucking dumb shit.
Like,
shocking.
I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Like, I didn't even do anything though. I was literally fucking walking along, like, you know, like in there, take it right, walk along around, down to the car, in you go. The fuck do you want? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, fucking old people. And it's only old people that I have this with. I cannot remember the last time I've even had a remote, like, tense situation with someone like my own age. Do you know what I mean? Or someone who's like below the age of like 70. It always seems to be like old boys in their 70s. I just feel like they can just get away with anything, you know?
Boomers, it's rude to stare. Also, boomers stares propensely at something.
Like, you know, it's one of those ones where the mindset I just cannot fathom. I just cannot fathom their worldview. Like, you know what? Like, sorry, back to D&D hot takes. Not enough about me near getting into fights with boomers in car parks. All right. Tell me that's not a banging one. Could you actually, like, put my hand up? Can you please stop looking at my child? Sir. Sir.
Make you feel uncomfortable, sir.
Tell me that's not a banger, though. I'm definitely using that one next time. Fuck, I can't wait. Could you imagine their face?
Oh, no. Uno reverse card, motherfucker.
Tell me that's not a banger and a half. Like, let's keep going. Or actually, we haven't even read this one, have we? We haven't.
No.
Fuck. Shit.
All right. The worst thing to happen in D&D isn't its design flaws, but the people on the internet who keep referencing its design flaws as to reinforce them as a vicious cycle. Before the internet became hugely ubiquitous and convenient for instantaneous use, there was an expectation that it was the DM who was the final say in how D&D is run, and it's still there to this day, albeit with that extra hurdle of having to address a net build or two that is often within the raw, but may or may not be in the spirit of the DM's game, especially if the DM is running a rule or scenario or too differently than how it's officially written in the rule. What? Or two? Anyway, so basically being different. Obviously, the net builds are powerful, and since they are within the official rules, comes with the assumption that the official rules all fly one-to-one with every game labeled as D&D. The DM will then be confronted with the raw at every turn and will have to address them. If he's going raw, then he's playing D&D, but if he isn't going raw, then he isn't playing D&D, and will have to butt heads with the expectations of the players and what they brought to the table with them. So basically, it's a raw versus homebrew argument there, like...
I think you should probably start out rules as written, but I feel like, again, so many people jump headfirst into homebrew rules and they never actually play rules as written. You know, like, I'm going to be straight up, I don't play fucking rules as written, but I think it's a good place to start, you know? Like, Garb, have you ever, like, how long was it before you started, like, implementing your own ways of doing things? Like, again, like, what was realized is it started off as, like, a 5e mod,
so,
and then you're like, this doesn't fucking work at all, I just need to start again.
Yeah. So when I realized the inherent flaws in D&D, I went, fuck this. I started to make my own thing. That is true. That's what happened. But with me doing my own thing, it was nearly instantaneous. I went, well, this is fucking bullshit. I literally, like, the first day I grabbed the Dungeon Master's manual or guide or whatever the fuck it's called, I literally went, oh, well, this is fucking stupid. And I literally went from there through the air, fucking doing my own thing. Because I went, well, this is, like, to me, I was like, well, this is dumb. Because this makes no sense, or this is stupid, or why would they allow this, you know? And this is even during the early internet days. I was like, you know, being a player, I've been a player long before I was ever a DM. And I was like, well, this is kind of, you know, a lot of guys made a bunch of decisions. I was like, well, that's kind of stupid, you know? Yeah. But you're the player, as a DM, you kind of let it ride as it came, and you kind of dealt with it. But after about, you know, a little bit of time of even a player, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of having guys make these fucking horrible fucking decisions. I'm going to make them for them. And that's why I haven't gone back to being, it's kind of why I haven't gone back to being a player, because, like, I'm like, you guys make horrible fucking decisions.
What? Why do you don't want to play my games, bro?
Because they're all shit-based.
No, they're not.
Come play Fecal Lens with us. I'm like, no, I'm good.
What about the Bastard Princess? That's got like BDSM in it, you know?
Well, now I have no fucking time. Like, I'm at this point, I'm too engrossed in creating things or writing things or creating stories. Like, I don't have time to be a player.
Yeah,
you know, I do 2 stream games a week, being DM, trying to balance those 2 plot lines. Like, at this point, I don't have time to be a player.
2 games a week is more than enough. I think like, I don't think I know anyone that could actually keep up with more than 2 games a week. If I be honest with you, it would be very, very difficult to be able to keep that cohesion, you know, at all for most people. Right, let's go for, we're 54 minutes in. Let's go for 1 or 2 more. Taking inspiration from video games is good. It kind of depends.
I mean,
kind of depends. Kind of
like, if you're doing a JRPG, you're gonna get made fun of instantly.
It's like, you know what that's like saying? Taking inspiration from anime is good. I mean, like, kinda, maybe at times, but it's very rarely done well. I think for me personally, the most inspiration I've taken from video games is like bag slots. You know, I feel like bag slots work for me. I find bag management incredibly boring and tedious. It's not something that I care particularly much about. So I think bag slots work really well, even if they are very video gamey. I'm okay with that, you know? Let's see what's up next. Class restrictions are good, and classes should be more restricting. Yeah.
Classes should be just better built, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I know no game's perfect, my game's not perfect, but D&D is just the golden standard for making an absolute stupid class, and like no balancing around it or any thought to it.
You know, the problem is, it feels like you almost are forced to multi-class a lot of the time, you know. And I feel like again, from the point just above about video games, I feel like video games is where most people have got their min-max and ideas for them, you know. That's kind of, I believe video games is way more responsible for min-max. World of Warcraft is responsible for min-maxing. Let's be serious. I don't think there's any other video game that comes close to min-maxing. What do you say, Garbo? Is there any other game you can think of that has pushed the min-maxing mindset harder?
D&D, honestly. You know, fucking, you have net builds, which are a bane to the existence. And the problem is, when they allowed multi-classing, you can't balance it. Yeah. Once you allow multi-classing, there's no balancing going on. And the fact they can do it with simply having the correct numbers in the right place. Like, in my game, you can kind of multi-class, but it takes time to learn the other job. In D&D, you just put points in the right place, and boom, you're multi-classing.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you cannot balance it, because you're taking two frankly unbalanced things. They're going to mash them together out of your fucking mind. And it's how it constantly is in that fucking game, though.
You know, ridiculous. I feel like, again, this is very much a D&D 5e issue. I feel like that's what it's always fallen back on. I feel like too much of 5e is designed for the players, and it's not enough design for the DM. You know, I feel like a good system has to put the DM on the top of the agenda, you know, because let's be serious.
Totem pole, yeah.
If the DM can't fucking handle the game, you don't have a game. You know, I mean, without a DM, it's pretty much fucked, man. You know, players a dime a dozen. Like, you know, let's be fucking real. Anything else, or do you want to? We'll keep going.
Are you tired of overreaching and overbearing censorship on important and non-important issues? Well, you're in luck. For just $7.50 a month, you can get access to over 60 hours of completely uncensored and unhinged schizo takes from Megan and James. From us.
I mean, look, it's 60 hours at the minute. Every week we do a minimum of like 3 hours.
Yep.
So, you know,
you get a lot of content.
There's a lot on there.
A lot of content. Ranging from... or even... Yes, they are that spicy. Even the name of the topic must be censored. We can't even promote it on YouTube. You can stream or download all the videos from Gumroad and cancel your membership at any time. Though new videos every week on average come to 2 to 3 hours long, so we can really go in depth on any topic, and we are not strangled by the YouTube algorithm.
That's a big issue I always find.
Yeah. We can be open and uncensored and not have to worry about any of that.
If you want to talk about a subject, YouTube really promotes, you're going to have to get that done in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But on this, we can really take our time and really delve into it.
And most weeks we do bonus off-topic videos. And yes, we even have a teaser video you can download for free from neckbeardia.co.uk. In it we talk about Northern Ireland for 4.5 hours.
I don't even think we scratched the surface.
No,
guys.
It's to try and help you understand who we are as people, our worldview, and how we can kind of be aliens to most people. If any of that sounds good to you, go ahead, links down below, and let's get back to the video.
Not only aren't alignments bad, role-playing should be tied even more to actual game mechanics. I do buy that. Well, I buy that role-playing should be tied to game mechanics. Alignment... Do I even want to talk about alignment? Do you want to talk about alignment? I don't feel like I want to talk about alignment, man.
Alignment is a thing where it shouldn't exist. Alignments are not a hard set rule. Alignments are, like I said before, a pendulum. A good man can become evil and then go back to being a good man. A good man or an evil man can do good and then go back to being an evil man. Alignments are stupid. Alignments are abused. Alignments are used as scapegoats for horrible actions.
Yes.
Alignments are fucking dumb. Honestly, like, you could be an evil guy and not squish that goddamn roach in front of you. I mean, it's just like people are complex. Even undead fucking liches are complex people that, they may still care for their minions. There's no truly evil people, and because even Hitler liked fucking animals, for God's sakes. It's just like I think it's stupid. Honestly, I've never liked alignment. I never used alignment. I never cared about alignment. It's just one of those things.
I feel for me, it's not about like archetype to like get a feel for who the character is meant to be, but like I think that's just it. I feel like it works best as just like an indicator of where the player is mentally. You know what I mean? I don't know. I honestly don't even want to get into alignment because it just goes on, and it's such a bullshit argument that I've heard a million times over, and I just don't care enough about it. Right, we'll do one or two more, will we? You see anything good? Kinder? Do you want to do Kinder? I don't want to talk about Kinder.
Who's Kinder? What's Kinder? What?
Kinder are, the halflings from thingy. What was it from Dark Sun? Are they? Dragonlance. Dragonlance. And pretty much they're just halflings, but they thieve everything, and they're just wee fuckers. And they've pretty much just been scapegoated into. You know what they kind of remind me of? Do you remember the dwarves from Artemis Fowl? Where they're like,
like Mulch Diggums.
Yeah, they kind of remind me a lot of like Mulch Diggums, where they just have to thieve to the point of it turns into like a caricature almost. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of idea. Frankly, I just don't like her, and I do feel like it's just something the players have been abusing for years. Here we go. We got a picture of Gygax. Let's see. Oh, this looks nice and big. Do you want to go with this?
1 second. I was eating a power bar.
Did you fucking just deep throat the whole thing?
Bro, I bit off and chew, literally. Alright. Charging should only happen as a group with the party in mind. The table should pick a party alignment from the extremes. Have the individual PC just one step deviation top from that.
Okay.
Also, character bonds should be mandatory and expressed in a circular manner. PC A has a bond with PCB, etc., etc. Iconic characters are always encouraged, but not strictly necessary, as long as this just could be defined. Anyways.
Overall, I don't think that's a bad way to keep like party cohesion, because the problem is, like you were talking about PvP earlier. I find just PvP, I've got no issue with it. I think I'm fine with it. But I think the reason why most people hate it is it just kind of like derails so many games.
Well, say friends fight though. Like no group of people is going to be constantly meshing together perfectly. There will be contention. There will be spats. There will be fists thrown or swords pulled over lapses in judgment or judgment calls. Not every venturing party is going to be like, oh, we all just suck just cock all goddamn day. We're so in sync with each other.
Our menstrual cycles have something along those lines.
Yeah, and of course that is like the fucking D&D Utopia aspect. Like, oh, everyone loved each other. And fuck you, no.
Yeah.
Like, someone's gonna be doing oopsie and piss off someone else in the party, and that's when the real fun comes in. Because, you know, the more human the characters are, the more fun they are to play. The more fun the story becomes. But anyway, so...
Yeah. All right, anyway.
Let's see.
So at least a third of the party has humans.
Jesus.
I mean, like, it just depends on... that's so set and dependent.
That's set and dependent for sure,
I don't care. Like, you know, it depends on what type of game you're playing. Like, genuinely.
2/3 must be human. Who are you, the fucking arbiter of fucking D&D parties?
I'm just saying, like, you know, like, how many people do you know complain about tieflings all the time? But, like, you know, there's so many different campaign settings that would be perfectly fine to have a party of all tieflings, you know what I mean?
Monstrous races, orcs, goblins, beastmen, plain touch, shapeshifters, undead, contracts, etc. should be discouraged unless specifically this guy's a fucking OSR player. Jesus Christ. I love my human fighter. Grab me sword, grab me plate, simple as.
Don't get me wrong, I love a human fighter and I do feel like humans... you know what it is? I feel like a lot of people... Humans have been shit on by, like, tiefling and fucking elf players and whatever else. Like, what are the other classes of people fucking play that are like the insufferable ones? You know, all that type of shit. And I
tieflings and gnomes.
Yeah, man, who the fuck wants to? To be fair, I'm actually going through a bit of a gnome phase. Not gonna lie,
a gnome renaissance from
just because Aussie absolutely loves garden gnomes, and I think it's really, really funny. And like, there's something oddly like, you know what? Garden gnomes, they got sharp. See, like, whenever I'm talking about gnomes, I'm thinking garden gnomes, not like whenever people talk about
gnomes.
I think a lot of people think like World of Warcraft style gnomes. They're shit. They're bored. I don't care. Oh, they're good with technology. What
a horrible fucking race to create. Like, oh yeah, they're a step shorter than dwarves. Why?
Just play dwarves instead. Like, dwarves can have
just make a different kind of dwarf, dude. Like, yeah, so we have one step lower than a dwarf. Why?
Whereas for me, like, all I'm saying is, for me, if I'm going gnome, I want more like Fae-esque sort of gnome magic with
Father.
Like
giant red pointy hat, Father Christmas.
Yes, that's exactly what I want. I want that's my type of gnomes, okay? And you know what? I actually kind of really like them. I actually do. I like them far more than what I've liked you. They've grown on me. They've got charm. They're whimsical little creatures, you know. And I never thought I'd be saying that, but you know what? I actually kind of enjoy them.
They're so whimsical.
They are. They're nice. They're really sweet, you know. Anyway, look, what says BG should be punctual and short. No more. So backgrounds. Yeah, no more than 5 lines of text. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Genuinely, I think that goes without saying for most people. Most backgrounds are trash. Your background should be what were you doing in level 1.
Character advancement should never happen in media res and during the course of the adventure in place, but only at the end of it and implying a reasonable time skip. That's stupid. Assuming it's 5e, gritty realism rules plus a safe haven requirement for long rest from adventures in Middle Earth and long rest requirement for recovering failed death save should be mandatory. Spell components should also be treated as consumables, 1 use only each. That's stupid.
So what constitutes as a long rest now? Because I've seen a lot of people argue now that short rests are 8 hours and a long rest is a week.
Hell no, brother. What the fuck? A long rest is a sleep.
Yeah, that's what I would put it down as. But again, it depends on the system. It depends on what works. I'm playing a lot of Death March at the minute. And the reason for my ones is, well, I've got a bit of a skill, so I do for how much you heal and stuff during rest. But the reason why I've got really good health recovery, just because you have fuck all health and you can get one-shotted so easily. I've got no problem with, you know, I gotta give the players something. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna, it's gonna take you 1 week to bring back 1 hit point. How much does a rifle do? 2d10 damage? Oh, and by the way, you're probably gonna have about maybe about 11 hit points, by the way. So, like, you know, the chances of you getting one shot are pretty fucking high a lot of the time. Okay, you know what I mean? Let's keep going. If players cannot handle at least anything that could be expressed in a PG-13 tone that could not be allowed to play to begin with.
I feel like this is the problem that we're at the minute. We've got too many adult children that cannot handle fucking anything.
Actually, DM X card. Use my X card DM. My help me 100X. No, I don't want to do this. Like, yeah, brother, this bus ain't got brakes. All right, you're here.
Yeah. like don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying like every game needs to be fucking like X rated or whatever. Like 18 plus fucking fat tits and fucking.
Every gamer is gonna be a Reddit horror story. No one can stop me.
I can make it that. Don't you worry. I can make it a horror story with PG-13. I got skills. I got little skills.
I have a unique set of skills.
I make a terror for people like you. Anyway, yeah, that goes without saying. I think that's just the world we fucking live in today. And you know what? I really hope some people take advice from our gym video, and I really hope some people actually do.
Go outside, touch grass.
Yeah, I really do hope that video helps people, though. It's at the time of recording, it's not out yet. It should be out actually in a couple of hours. So, but I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how people respond to that, if I'll be honest with you, because I'd like to do some, like, spread out a wee bit on this channel. I'd really like to do, some people have been asking about doing, like, a book club, maybe sort of thing, like, once a month. Would you be up for that, Garb?
A book club, eh?
Yeah. Would you like that? I would be up for it, but I don't think it would get many views, though. Like,
probably not. I don't see people getting big on that.
Yeah.
It depends on if you have like a good like angle on it, but like it depends on what the books are. Our takes on it. Are we going to be super hardcore on it? Super not hardcore? Are we going to like softball it? Depends on what we do with it.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I feel like the quality will completely come down to if the book is good or not. And also the saddest part about that is the video will probably be better if the book is shit. And therefore, if the book's shit, I don't want to fucking read it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I would really like to just do really, really good books that are really worth, I would like to focus on stuff worth sharing and worth talking about. This is why I really have tried to avoid talking about wizards as much as I can. Alright? Anyway, look, last one. Rule 0. Ooh, do you want to go with this one, Garb?
Rule 0. Let's see here. Rule 0, as an on-the-spot arbitrations, is a complementary tool for fine-tuning the game, emergent as is, not a narrative device that should be invoked anytime the GM feels the necessity to force the game in a preconceived narrative.
Yes.
This guy's trying to type smart. It's just coming up as fucking just completely up his own ass, dude.
I mean, Rule 0 is fine. I see so many people fucking bitch and moan about it. Maybe it's just the type of people that I have on my, like, Twitter, but that's all I see. All I see is people, like, I see so much arguing about minutia, you know what I mean? About the stuff that doesn't matter overall, the stuff that really doesn't deserve essays written about. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, some stuff should be talked about, and should it be hashed out, should it be talked about? Yeah. But to this extent, and to, like, flare emotions so strongly, you know, like over the course of this video, I'm sure there's been a couple things that maybe someone's watching has been like, James, you're fucking tired, man. You actually have no idea what you're talking about. But I would like to hope that I didn't bring up a visceral response. Do you know what I mean? I would like to be like, man, that's fucking stupid. Why the fuck are you even saying that? Instead of, I fucking hate you. I want you dead. I will actually cause you physical harm.
Some guy goes on TG and puts your face on there and says, this guy's the worst thing for RPGs. Yeah. Stares at TG intently. Have the nuance already.
keep refreshing the page quickly. Someone's going to comment on it. Do you know what I mean? It's all that type of shit, you know? Where do you want to go with this, Garb? Is there anything else? I don't think there's been anything. There hasn't been any hot take here at all. I don't think
this is standard D&D takes. Like, let's try and scroll. Is there any actually hot takes that's not like something I would say? Because it seems like all very like baseline, like D&D bad grr kind of takes, dude.
Yeah, not much in the way of my D&D hot take is the game has always come good finished.
Yeah, that's not a hot take. That's not the truth, brother. That's not a hot take at all.
That's just the way it is.
The reality of it.
It depends entirely on the person. No, keep going. Hello, DM. This is my lizard folk OC, whatever, Chiselback. He eats people, bones and all, then shits out bone arrows on a long, complicated process. I'll detail here with, there is people like that. I don't know, most people that I know that play lizard folk at least, like, got into it, you know what I mean? And I'll give lizard folk that. I've came across quite a few players that actually genuinely get into it. And hard and fast racial alignments are indeed the bad, but different races should have predispositions. I feel like I would agree with that. Would you?
Nah, I wouldn't.
No.
Honestly, no. I don't think any race is going to be, off the cuff evil. I think it might have more warlike, or it should be leaning more towards tendencies and morale than like moral alignment, or call it a cultural alignment more than a moral alignment.
Well,
like some cultures may be more prone towards slavery than others, or some maybe more towards a war than others. We call it
racism chart. We need a racism chart. Can we make a racism chart?
I think it's a new chart name. Just call it like cultural something chart, where it shows you where on this board they're current. Like, are they a war culture, a slaving culture, an economic culture? Because cultures in general are going to be different than the culture next to it. But that doesn't mean the people within a culture are going to be evil. Like I'm sure that there's a few guys in the slavery culture that's like, you know what, I'm gonna get my guys some new clothes. Like they're not just evil. They're just part of a culture.
I feel like we could turn that into. I feel like, honestly, I like the idea of turning this into like. I think I have got an idea for something, Garbo. I think we could turn this into something like and make it, because I've been sitting on this world builder tool that I made for a while now, and I'm not entirely too sure what I want to do with it, but I really, really like it, and I feel like I could definitely throw in a racial matrix table, per se. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like you could, like, have all your different races, or it doesn't have to be races, you could throw in, like, hunter cultures, or, you know what I mean, whatever, and what they're predisposed to be like, you know what I mean? Of course, it's not the rule, but it's just they're if someone's in ISIS, what can you expect them to be like? You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's do a spicy take here. It'd be like not all Arabics are going to be, evil, but the culture catches a few eyebrow-raising spots compared to, like, I don't know, the modern French culture.
Yeah, what's their views on, like, women, homosexual, you know what I mean? Like, you can throw in all that type of stuff. It's like, what's our predisposition, like, on those certain topics? You know what I mean? But you can't
go and say, well, all Arabics are evil because they do this. Well, I'm sure they're not all that. They're not all that. Like,
I'm Garbu, I hang around with a lot of them, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, they back north.
It'd be like, but you know what I'm saying, dude.
No, all I'm saying is, right, if I was, have you ever watched Gangs of New York? Do you remember whenever was it Bill the Butcher is like down at the docks and he's sitting like pelting rocks at the Irish getting off the boat? Me. That is me. I'm going to say
that's me right there.
That's me right there.
Like, I love the guy who yells out an Irish accent while throwing rocks at the Irish.
I know, it's great, isn't it? No one hates the Irish quite like the Irish. It's part of the cultural genetic background. You know what I mean? It's just what we're predisposed to be like. No one hates the Irish quite like the Irish. Like there's a reason why there's two of them. Anyway, where do you want to go with this? I don't know. Do you want to just go with actual hot takes? So, Garbu, what do you think about race?
Like in D&D?
No. The I'm gonna blank this out. Don't worry. The ones. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna have to cut this. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know how to make this like acceptable because we got hit with a warning not that long ago, Garbu, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah, I put it up on. Let me show you here. Let me open up. It was. Did you see it? It was. Hold on.
I haven't seen it. No.
Let me go on Gmail. Let me go on this email address, and this is it right here. Let me just bring it across. Hi, Neckbeardia Reborn. It looks like female players.
Female player get my DM
did not follow community guidelines to help keep your
hate speech.
Yeah, review and take action. What can be done? Yeah, so like. Yeah, Garbu, this is probably your fault.
You can't call them females.
that's mean. You can't say that. It's really nasty. I don't know. Anyway, look.
Meanwhile, there are guys on fucking YouTube giving nude yoga lessons and full nude. But yeah, we're the problem.
Did you not see the guy shaving his asshole? I was trying to find that video.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one where he does like the jump asker? He gets like.
But remember, you're the problem.
I mean, like, you know, I just said fucking, the girls got cuties, okay? You know what I mean? It's not my fault. I know a lot of guys.
Femoids got cooties.
I know a lot of guys with cooties, just putting that out there, you know what I mean? I know more guys have cooties than girls, if I be honest with you. So, you know, I don't know. Where do you want to go? Is there anything else worth bringing up? Is there anything else, like, you know?
D&D bad, D&D sucks, D&D lazy. If you want to sum it up, it's just D&D equal lazy. It's all it is. It's all it ever has been.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a bit of shilling. Garbo, have you seen this yet? I have some of the spreads in for Death March.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. So I'll get some of them open here. Now, I only paid for 10 pages, so I did. But this is like the first kind of, you know, basic idea of what the inside of the book will look like. And I'm really happy with it, if I say so myself. There's a bits of it that I'm like, I don't know. But everyone that I've shown it to, they all say it looks really nice. So, like, you know, I'm going to go with that. But there's something, like, I like all this. I like the way it looks like sketches and stuff. But some aspects that I don't really like that. I think it looks a bit too cartoony, if you know what I mean. Or, like, say, I love this one. I think this one looks really cool, so it does. But I think that one looks a wee bit too cartoony. But again, that's kind of like...
Well, to be fair, a lot of the cartoons of the era did look like that.
Yeah. And I'm relying quite heavily on... What do you call it? I'm relying quite heavily on public domain art to fill in a lot of it. Did I ever show you the book cover artist? He's starting to do sketches.
Yeah, you did,
minute. I'm going to throw him up on screen here, even though I'm probably not. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to throw them up on screen because I'm not going to be using the actual screen recorder. I'm just going to be taking screenshots anyway. You know what I mean? So it makes no difference whatsoever. But I think it looks pretty cool. You know what I mean? And this is for the quick start goals. The only thing is the formatter says he won't be ready to work on anything again until March, which I'm okay with. But it's going to cost me about £1,000 to get the quick start goals formatted, and then it's going to cost me another like $650, I think, to get it's $650. I've already paid the $650 to get the cover art done. Do you know what I mean? And then guess what? This is going to be put out for free anyway. So yay! I still aren't going to make any money.
Labor of love, yay!
Yeah. Honestly, Death March to me has turned into a passion project, though. I don't even know if I'm ever going to.
Well, the thing is, I suppose the biggest hot take is that WOTC and D&D have lost their passion for what they do.
Yes.
It's simply a product now, and there's no more passion in the game. It's simply just put out thing that these fucking goons are gonna buy because they're so enraptured to the product that they'll buy anything we slap on their fucking faces like a big old fucking dick. Yeah. And there's no more passion to it. You read these books and you go, okay, this is just useless. Like reading the Strixhaven books. No passion, no thought, no energy, just slop. It's just constant slop being slapped on your plate. Going, here you go, buyer, enjoy, as they spit in your mouth while you pull your fork around. You know, there's no passion to it. There's no desire or drive to create a product that they feel proud of. It's simply, we need money, make new product, give product to whales who will buy product.
But that's the other problem that I've got is there's plenty of people that are pumping out like really high quality books, and they don't have like I'm convinced Wizards has to be like a money laundering organization at this point, because like there's no way. To be fair though, it could just be the nature of the business, because if you think about it, anyone who's actually competent would not want to work for Wizards anyway, because first up, the pay ain't good, and where they're based in Seattle, their pay is poverty tier. Like genuinely, it may as well be minimum wage what they're paying people at Wizards, so it's not worth doing it like that.
Well, because it all turned about profit. It's no longer about creating a game you'll love or a game the players will love. Once Gary Gygax and co. pulled out of the game, it became just this cash grab that they've been pumping and shredding and fucking for every moment they can. It's no longer about what the players are going to like or what the DM are going to need or what you want to make. It's simply, we must make a product and stuff it down the throat holes of the people who have been trained
Radiant Citadel,
for the last
fucking Strixhaven, every
people have been making these games for like 30 years now, and D&D was the game. It was the game everyone fell in love with. So just by use of name alone, they've been beating the fuck out of their consumer base with these mediocre, kind of shitty game books, and people have been taking it because, well, it's D&D, it's what I love, and people are slowly waking up to it for sure. Like, okay, this is something's wrong here, because who has like. I rarely read about people in D&D having fun playing the base game. It's always my DM's homebrew's really good or yada yada, because Or they go back and they play Ravenloft for fucking like 4,000th time, or they play.
You know, the thing is, I feel like I've missed out. I've actually never played a Ravenloft campaign ever, and I would really, really like to, but I feel like I feel like I've missed out. You know, you know what I'm working towards at the minute. Once I've got more of Death March exactly where I want it to be, I'm planning on running I'm going to be using the Ghoul system from Death March to run like a mix of a Chult, Dark Sun campaign. There's something about desert settings, man. They're calling to me. See, like, what's better, Snow Planet or Desert Planet?
Asking the wrong guy, because I love Snow Planets, I'm not gonna lie.
Snow Planets are fucking bowling though. They really
I
are.
fucking love Snow Planets,
you
dude.
know, and I loved playing Game of the Frost Maiden, and it really,
because technically a Snow Planet is just a cold desert. When you think about it, they both have dunes or drifts, both have storms. It's just they're two extremes of the medium, you know.
Yeah, but there's something about them though. There's something really like for whatever reason.
Visceral.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, I just do not find. See, lava planets, don't care, and I don't know why. I just don't care about lava planets. Like, there's just something.
But molten rock is so cool, bro.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The only one that I think that comes close to it would be like, you remember like the planet from Aliens?
Yeah.
And so,
big old
like,
rocky planet.
Yeah, it's like all like obsidian and stuff. That was pretty cool. I actually kind of like that. But again, that was kind of like a Gideon Prime sort of world where, you know, well, it's not toxic, but it's kind of got that like theme. It's kind of got that feel to it, you know. I don't know. I'm really feeling a desert. I would love to do a desert. I've got it in my fucking boots. I want to play a really fucking wacky desert game. That's what I want to play. I want a pure shitpost of a game that happens to be in a desert, and I'm just feeling it. I'm just really feeling it, and I want to do it. Maybe a game that just doesn't involve poo for a change. I don't know, guys. Anyway, will we wrap up?
God forbid.
Well, I've already got it twice. You make it out as if that's all I play. I've already played it. I've already got it twice, okay? Well, in total...
It feels like a lifetime.
I've had 5 sessions in the Fecal Lands. Now, don't get me wrong. I haven't played much recently. I haven't played as much as what I'd like, so 5 sessions is actually quite a bit for me, not gonna lie, but like, it's pretty good. Alright, I quite liked it, you know. Anyway, anything worth bringing up? Anything else we should talk about? You know, the deck of many triggers is still, like, you can still back that if you want. I'm keeping
How's it coming along?
Did you hear about what happened to Tarmel?
No.
Oh my god, this is fucking blood. So, whenever you hire people that live in third world, expect third world problems, okay? So I'm gonna talk about this now. This is really brutal, and I'm not gonna go into any detail, but like, he's kind of been public about it, so I think it's okay for me to be able to talk about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring it up. But like, the guy had a fucking brutal, like, pretty much armed robbery from his house. You know, like, you know,
South Africa. Yeah, that checks out.
You know, stole all electronics, everything like that, and it was him in the house with his 2-year-old and the nanny and whatnot. Like, you know, it was really bad. Like, you know, they fucking tied him up and all that. Like, it sounds really bad, like, genuinely. So yeah, that's what happens whenever, like, if you live in South Africa. Like, honestly, South Africa sounds like fucking, if it's not already on the point of absolute collapse, you know what, it probably is already a collapse, I would say, you know. So either way, he's getting there, and you know what, it worked out. Well, it didn't work out that well, because he got I got his pay sorted out for the deck. He got paid for
good
for the artwork, so he's able to get a new computer and all that jazz. And also 2 out of the 3 have already been arrested. You know what I mean? So like, you know, that's pretty as good as it gets. You know what I mean? Like, would you really expect these people to get caught in South Africa?
What do you mean, these people?
Well, would you expect them to get, like, you know, I just expected, like, genuinely, it sounds like once they're gone, they're gone. Like, you know, can you really expect the police to, like, follow through with anything, you know? Like,
I mean, just like, because I go through world news, and Africa's a fucking shithole, dude.
Yeah.
If you're not, like, in, like, northern Africa with, like, Egypt and all that, and if you're, like, not in the deepest, widest parts of South Africa, it's just fucking hosiery the entire time, dude.
There was a game that we played. I can't remember. It was a game I played on the old channel. I think it was like one of the milestones when we hit like 30,000 subscribers. I ran. It was like a quiz show that I ran, and I live streamed it. I don't think the live stream still exists, but it was called Florida or Africa. And what I would do is I would read out news stories, and you would have to tell me whether or not the news story was from Florida or Africa. And you know what? It's pretty fucking hard. pretty good game, not gonna lie. Although I had to cover up some.
Turns out it's actually really hard.
It turns out it is actually very, very difficult. So yeah, that's where we are at the minute. Is there anything else worth bringing up at all? The artwork is being worked on though. Don't worry, it is coming along, and I do have the fucking. Did I tell you about Candace, the Chinese woman that's sorting out the printing? Like she.
Oh, the one is all angry at you all the fucking time.
Yeah, she's like, you make order now. And I was like, I don't have the artwork. Like, it's like, oh, you make order now before New Year. And I was like, could work or go home? And I was like, well, I don't think the artwork's like, will the price, like, I could pay you now, but like,
my artist got robbed, lady. Will you fucking relax?
Like, will the price stay the same? Like, if I pay you this now, like, and I don't actually make the order until like late February or whatever, like maybe even early March, like, is the price going to stay the same? No, only this month. I was like, well, I'm gonna have to wait. Like, it's like, she's like, what?
Trying to play hardball late. I can't do it.
No, I don't have like I pay it like now. Like, I'd rather get it printed and get it sent out as soon as I can, but I don't actually have the artwork. You know what I mean? And if I don't have the artwork, I can't get the card unless I'm gonna just send out like fucking blank cards. You know what I mean? With the text on it, it's like work in progress. You know what I mean? Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be a fucking disaster. Anyway, look, that's where we're gonna have to love yous and leave yous. I feel like we're just gonna meander if we go any further, and I have to pick up Megan from her aunties. So I do now before because Ozzy needs din-dins and whatnot. Alrighty. Is that us? Yeah.
All right.
Alright. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, see you next time. Bye bye.